All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And I did need to address a couple of things at the beginning of my video here today so that I can be crystal clear moving forward and people can understand a couple of things about my channel. First of all, over the last week, I've had several individuals try to goad me into political conversations. Okay, I am not going to talk politics on my channel, and I never will. I promise you that. I'm never going to get into politics. And if I ever do, it's going to be just addressing facts, not conjecture. I will tell you, guys, I'm not a registered Republican. I'm not a registered Democrat. I am an independent because I don't trust both sides. And I mean that to the most sincere. Like, I can't get any more clear than that, okay? I don't trust either side. And as I get older, I'm realizing how much taxes are a crock, especially property taxes. I don't owe a whole lot on my house, and when I pay it off, I'm still going to owe property taxes every year, and if I don't pay them, the government takes your home. So you don't own anything, which I think is a crock. It's just a way for government to make perpetual money. I do not trust either side. So I want to make that very clear. You guys are never going to goad me into a political conversation. I will either mute or ban those people that try to do that. So don't even try, okay? I've made some people make some wild accusations over the last week. The other thing I want to address, and which is more geared towards my channel, is a lot of people have made the comment over my last couple of videos that what am I going to do when Superman finally gets released and it ends up being this amazing film? Is my channel going to implode? No, it's not. And here's why. My channel was here long before James Gunn took over. I've been doing this for, I think, 4.5 years now, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 3.5 or 4.5 years. I don't remember which, okay? And I was here long before James Gunn took over. And I'm going to be here long after he leaves DC because he's not going to stay there forever. I plan on running my channel for a very long time. And whether Superman is a success or not does not affect my channel at all, okay? It just does not. I am not, and I'm never going to sit here and change my opinion like that, like some of these other YouTubers have. There's been a huge meltdown about Angry Joe over this last week, and I am never going to be that. I promise you that. I am who I am. I know what I like, and I know what I don't like. I am a review channel, and I'm always going to give you my opinion, and my opinion is not just going to change because people told me to change my opinion. I think the Superman suit is the most awful Superman suit ever, and I'm actually going to show you a picture today in the screen grabs. Had the suit looked like this picture, we'd be in much better shape today. I still think the marketing is terrible. They haven't shown Superman be super, and I talked about that in my last video. They have a Superman problem with his image. I think they're trying to emasculate Superman, and you can't do that with that character. Some people said, well, it makes him more relatable. That's why we have characters like Batman, who's just a normal guy, okay? Superman was never meant to be a normal guy. So that argument does not work, okay? I am going to stay true to who I am. I'm never going to lie to you guys. I haven't ever lied. And if I make mistakes, I own up to it. I have in the past and will continue to do so in the future. So don't come at me and, the people who make those comments clearly don't know my channel. And it's not something I wanted to talk about, but I had to address those things at the beginning of today's video. And if you like today's video, please hit that like button. Right after you do that, you can subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. You will be notified as new videos go up. My last video did amazingly well when I asked for this at the beginning of the video because I know a lot of you are longtime viewers and you haven't subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. And if you hit that notification bell, it is guaranteed, as long as they don't mess with the algorithms, that you won't miss a video when I have it go up. And I can tell you right now, for those of you guys who like reviews, I'm going to have a lot of movie reviews coming up. I just watched all the John Wick movies over the weekend. I got reviews on all of those coming up. There's all kinds of things happening. Now, also at the beginning of this video, I have a question for all of you. And This is something I've been contemplating for a long time, and I'm going to let you guys decide whether I do it or not. So, Gotham, the TV series. I never watched it, okay? I got through season 1, started part of season 2, and to me it was too campy. It reminded me of the 66 Batman. It ended up being a little bit too campy, not serious enough for my tastes, and I stopped watching. But I own all 5 seasons on Blu-ray. Is it worth my time to watch that show? Because I'm at that stage now where there's a few things coming up at the end of the month, like The Last of Us Part 2, Season 2, and we've got the Andor Season 2 is coming up. So I'm curious, is it worth my time to watch it? I'll let you guys determine whether I watch and review each of the seasons. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. So chime up below in the comments below. I will be paying attention, and over on X, I am going to put up a poll to see what people have to say. All right, so let's get into today's screen grabs. First thing I wanted to talk about, in my last video, I posted this from Target. I think this is a fake picture all around. I was at my Target today. There are 2 Targets right near me. One just opened, and they didn't have any Superman toys at all, anywhere. Like, they don't exist. So I know that these were coming out, but they're definitely not on clearance, I will tell you that. And I couldn't find them in the kids section. I couldn't find them in the normal movie, action figure, the superhero section. These were nowhere to be found at either of the Targets that I went to. So I am convinced that this photo is a fake. Now, one thing I don't talk about enough on my channel are comic books. And, being a DC fan, yes, I read comic books. I probably own 5,000 DC comics, somewhere around there. I've been collecting specifically Batman comics since 1987. And so this is the world I live in. And I wanted to show this chart. This was actually published by Scott Snyder, who is currently the writer on Absolute Batman. And it's very insane. He's showing how popular this the Absolute universe is. And you can see that Batman, this is for March 25th, the week of March 25th. March of 2025. Sorry. This was for all of March of 2025, okay? These were the biggest selling comic books ranked by title. Okay, Batman number 158 was the number 1 comic, which is to be expected. That is Batman Hush 2. It's going to be a 6-issue run rather than 12 like the original series, and the first issue did drop. You got Absolute Flash number 1. You've got Absolute Batman number 6. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 1. Absolute Superman number 5. Absolute Wonder Woman number 6. Ultimate Spider-Man number 15. One World Under Doom number 2. Ultimate Wolverine number 3, Absolute Green Lantern number 1, Amazing Spider-Man number 70, Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four number 1, and Amazing Spider-Man number 69. These are the top 13. The list goes on, but I didn't grab it. There's no regular titles on here other than Batman number 158, which is very serious, by the way. And why I'm showing you guys this is there is a reason why the Absolute universe is selling like crazy. Because it's not silly, it's not stupid, it's way more serious than the regular line of comics. And this is what the audience wants. This is what sells. And I cannot state this enough or talk about it enough. The serious stuff is what sells. It is a fact. And I will tell you that the Absolute Batman series has been phenomenal by Scott Snyder. That guy knows how to write. I'm almost done with Absolute Superman. I got the first run of Absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And I've already read Batman, obviously, because I read those as they get released. I've waited to read Superman and Wonder Woman until the first issue and all of the first story and all of those were done, and they are. I've got one more issue to read on Superman. I will do a review on that, and then I will get into Wonder Woman. I will tell you that Batman was incredible, and I've got to do a review on that. And Superman, Absolute Superman, yeah, it's been something pretty special. I haven't read Absolute Wonder Woman except for the first issue, and I really didn't dig it. But we'll see how the rest of it pans out, because that's what I will read next. So yesterday, I went into the comic shop, and I'm going to show you guys the 4 comics that I ended up picking up. These were already in my bag. This is what I was most anticipating. This, again, is from Scott Snyder. He's the writer. And I love this cover by Dragata, the guy who's been writing or doing the art. He doesn't do the art for this issue, but this art or this cover is freaking phenomenal. This is the introduction of Mr. Freeze into the Absolute Universe, and it is a very different take. And I'm sad to say it's only going to be 2 issues. Most of the story runs are 5 issues. But I am still looking forward to the second part, and this is one of my favorite covers to come out in a very long time. So here I am actually holding that issue. I also picked up Batman The Long Halloween, Part 2. We've got Batman Dark Patterns, and if you guys aren't reading this, this is a phenomenal series. Issue 5 just got released. I also really dig this cover too. And then we have Batman and Robin number 20. So I'm probably about 2 or 3 issues behind on this title. But guys, I go to the comic shop every freaking week to pick stuff up. And for people who are subscribed to my channel and are members, I'm going to start showing you guys what I pick up from week to week. I'll do a weekly update and actually show you a video of what I've picked up. So it was announced yesterday that Superman is going to release 2 days early for most international audiences on July 9th instead of July 11th. It's still going to release in the U.S. on July 11th, so you might want to stay off the internet for a couple of days for spoilers. It's usually the other way around where we would get it first, but they decided to do this a little bit differently now, and we'll see how this ends up, if this is going to end up being a smart move or not. But I will tell you the film, as of right now, probably not going to get released in China unless things change. Also yesterday, I still have my video I have to put together of the unboxing of the Batwing and the Batmobile from Batman the Animated Series from McFarlane Toys. I hung this yesterday in my theater room, and you'll have to excuse the nicks on the wall. That's from other posters we've hung in the past, and it took stuff off the wall. I do need to do some touch-ups with some paint there. But you can see it next to the full-size Tron Legacy poster. I love that movie. But I hung this using just fishing line in between each of the wings, where they slide on, and then one piece across, and then one little hook on the wall is all it took. And so it's just a little thing I press that looks like a tack and goes up at an angle, and I'm hanging this on the wall. It looks pretty cool. One day I may hang it from the ceiling, but because the ceiling's black, nobody's probably going to see it, so I may have to leave it on the wall. Now, I don't know if this is true, okay? It says, Warner Brothers Discovery slashes 20 minutes after dismal test screening of Gunn's flawed Superman. There have been a lot of rumors about this, at the last round, because of the goofiness and the silliness, that the studio has asked them to trim a lot of that, and they've trimmed out 20 minutes from the film. And if it is the silly, stupid stuff, I've got no problem with that. I want a more serious take, a more... Guys, there's still an opportunity for me to go in and love this movie. It's a small shot at this point because the marketing has been absolutely terrible, but I still hold a little tiny sliver of hope that this movie will be amazing. I do love these characters, but I want it to be taken seriously. Jamie Lawson came out and says she hasn't heard anything on the Batman 2. We're all waiting to hear about the Batman 2, so I wish I could give you some insight, but I can't. And this comes from something on TikTok. Now, we're going to look at some more stuff in regards to the Batman 2. Grace Randolph posted something yesterday that, first of all, I thought was despicable, but since the cat is out of the bag, we will be discussing it in today's video. Also, Brandon, I don't know how you say his last name, Skelnar? That was Skelnar. Indicates DC Studios has called him about taking on the role of DCU Batman. I think there's some awareness of me on some level, probably. I know there's a ways away from doing that. The little kid in me and the adult in me is like, this is cool. Okay, first of all, I don't think he looks like Bruce Wayne. I don't think he would pull off Batman very well. My first choice to play Batman is Alan Ritchson because I think he's got the stature. But, thinking about this over the last couple of days, here's the problem with that. If they did Ritchson, they have to put the suit on top of him. That would have to be one hulking suit. Like, he would look massively large. I don't think it would work well. But at the same time, I don't think Brandon is big enough to play Bruce Wayne. He's a little too skinny. I know he could bulk up. I thought the same thing about Ben Affleck before he took on the role, because he's a pretty skinny dude. But he did it extremely well, and the suit has a lot to do with it. I just don't want the suit to look anything like it did in the Batman. He looks small and weak in the Batman, and I want a hulking Batman. Now, this is pretty cool. Sammy sent this to me, and this was something that CBR posted. It said the 10 most important comic book movies of all time ranked. Number 1 was Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, challenged comic book movie conventions. It says, broadly speaking, whether the medium is film, television, or comic books, art tends to have one of two effects. There's the kind you walk away from raving and cheering before moving on to something else, getting coffee, meeting a friend. By the time you're home, you can't remember the name or plot of the thing you just watched. Then there's the kind that's unsettling or unusual. It leaves you unsure. Yet you find yourself thinking about it for days, weeks, or even the rest of your life. That second kind, the one that sticks to your soul and refuses to let go, is the best kind, because it comes from the heart of the artist and stays within yours. That's pretty freaking awesome, and I would agree with this. To me, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, the extended edition, is my all-time favorite comic book movie. For me to see my two favorite heroes on the screen together was gold. And to also have the Trinity there, that made it even more special. And so, yes, I would agree with this, that this is the most important comic book movie of all time. I think the second one would probably be Watchmen, because it kind of kicked everything off, and then Christopher Nolan's movies. But Superman Dawn of Justice, I think, is the most important comic book movie. I would agree with that ranking all the way. All right, now here's what Grace Randolph posted yesterday. I actually saw the video. I did put out a post. I wanted to confirm this before I shared it. I think this is despicable, but Grace Randolph said the Batman sequel is being delayed so much because Matt is going through something similar to Chadwick Boseman's health, which means he's sick to some degree. Now, in her video, she stated it's not as bad as what Chadwick Boseman went through, but that he's going through some kind of a health crisis, in addition to also getting divorced. And I could believe that this definitely has something to do with the Batman, too, but I don't think it's the only reason. Like I said, there were reports that Matt Reeves was going to use, Clayface in his film, and then freaking James Gunn comes in and takes that for a standalone film, which means he would have to change his script. So I do believe that we're getting a double hit on this, and I don't think this movie is ever going to get released. Now, this is the first I've heard of this, but Vincent D'Onofrio reaffirms his interest in playing DC's Swamp Thing, and this comes from DC Film News. Somebody asked Vincent D'Onofrio, what would be another character outside of Wilson Fisk you would want to play? And he said Swamp Thing. I would be up for that. I think he's a really cool actor. I remember the first time I ever saw him was in, what was that? Men in Black, the first one. The skin was coming off his face. Freaking hilarious. But he's come a long way since then, and, he's amazing as Fisk in the Marvel Universe. All right, guys, here's your first official look at Supergirl and also Lobo. There's actually a video for this, too. It looks like they are going for the classic look of Supergirl. And what's funny is they give Superman a frumpy, goofy-looking suit, but hers looks like the schoolgirl outfit with the whatever you call it around her, the skirt. So hers is going to be more tight-fitting and more to the source material, but Superman remains frumpy and goofy-looking. And then there's Lobo, and you can see it in the video, and it does look pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I am eager to see something from this film. They haven't shown us anything. You can see the camera people there. They got something strung up. It's going to be interesting to see when something finally gets released for this. They said all of their filming was going to be inside. This obviously is not inside. And so Lobo is huge and hulking there, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see as more stuff gets released. All right, guys. So This is what I grabbed. This was somebody's art on what David Corenswet would have looked like with this suit. This would have been amazing. This would have raised some eyebrows. This would have had buzz behind it. But what does James Gunn do? We don't want him to have muscles. We don't want him to look like he's having a wet t-shirt contest. So we're going to make him look like a wrestler. Huge mistake. And if you've noticed, David Corenswet, in a lot of the promotional stuff, he looks more like a man and a Superman than he does in the actual film from what we've seen so far. I'm telling you, they're trying to emasculate Superman. On that note, we have Supergirl. This is supposedly what the suit is going to look like. I don't know if this is directly from the film. Several people posted this online and said this is actually from something from the film that got leaked. And I do believe that this is what this would look like. It would match what David Corenswet has. It's just a lot tighter. And I don't know why his is tight, or his is not, and hers is. But hers should be just as loose as his was. But this is supposedly what this looks like, and this does match with what we saw, in that production still from the actual film. But we'll see when they finally reveal something from the film. Now this I thought is pretty cool. It says McFarlane Toys. This came across my feed today. As seen on the McFarlane Toy Show, Alfred Pennyworth from Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice movie launches for pre-order April 16th at select retailers. I will be picking this up for sure. I wish they would do a Clark Kent figure. I wish they would do a Bruce Wayne figure. I would like Lois Lane. Maybe do, what's his name from the Daily Planet? Why am I forget his name off the top of my head? Fishburne's character. It would be cool to have these characters and add them to the collection because McFarlane Toys won't be keeping this forever. But this does go up for pre-order on April 16th. So if you want one, you're going to want to make sure you log in and get them as quickly as possible. These tend to sell out like crazy. All right, guys, there you have it. Another jam-packed DC update for you. And if you want to stick to my channel, again, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as all of these videos start popping up, you will be notified so that you can watch them as well. And again, I have a whole section for movie reviews and TV show reviews, and if you guys haven't checked that stuff out, please do, because there's going to be a lot more coming in the coming months. The DC stuff will not slow down, though. I'm going to continue to do all of the DC stuff, so everybody's got something to watch on my channel. I do appreciate all of the support, and we will see you guys on the next video.